Hey everybody, this is Munch and Steve. Welcome to Health IQ, where we clearly bring you some of the most dynamic information as it relates to your health. I'm so proud of my brother, the one, the only, the superstar, the cultural icon, but also a compassionate brother and one who does care and has been a caretaker and a care provider for community. My brother, Taye Diggs. How are you, brother?
I'm all right. I like that hat you're wearing. It's a nice lid.
Thank you, brother. I take that. I know you and the Milners get along. I know you rocks the hat, so I'm with you. I want to be prepared. When it comes to health in our community, sometimes people say, well, that's an attitude, or they're sick. We need to understand that schizophrenia and mental health is a real thing and needs to be addressed. Can you share where you intersect on that and what we as a community need to be thinking about as our compassion grows and our knowledge grows?
It's a great question. I can only judge from my own experience, but I grew the most from locking in with my sister. And I can't lie, I've been learning so much with this partnership with Bristol Myers Squibb and Live Your Possible. I was fortunate enough to have them scoop my sister and myself up and give us a platform to let people know that life doesn't have to end. No one has to kind of be led by fear when they are told that someone, or when they realize that one of their loved ones has schizophrenia or the symptoms of such. So with my sister, I was forced to kind of accept, listen, and then learn through those steps, support. And I have to say, it's been a trip, but watching her receive the support that we and my other family members have given her has really helped her thrive, and I feel very fortunate because she's walking around with a job and laughing and going to social events, and it's been pretty great lately.
Real honest, you say lately that it's a journey, but living your possible. For those family members, what would you encourage them to do immediately if you see signs of schizophrenia? And what were some of the things that began to kind of ring your bell when it came to, is that normal or is something going on?
Growing up with my sister, I didn't see any real change in her behavior until her 20s. And some of her behavior would be erratic and just not acting like herself and removing herself from the family and social events at certain times, and then at other times doing the exact opposite and not knowing where she was. I want to keep some of this under wraps just because it's my sister's business, but very, very different behavior from what I was used to when we were growing up. She was a dancer and a model and very artistic. And before we got her diagnosis, and before she started seeing a wonderful therapist and started taking the proper medications for her, she kind of came away from that. Once we found out what was going on, there was a feeling of relief because we could put a name to it. Then there was kind of fear because when you hear the word schizophrenia, you just think of how it's portrayed in the movies and on TV, where people are talking to themselves and running around, and it doesn't tell a well-rounded story of each specific case. And learned that through my sister and through doing the research and Live Your Possible with Bristol Myers Squibb. I'm always learning, and they help both of us, my sister and myself, because everybody's situation is completely different. That there are people that you don't have to shy away. You can kind of lean into this new kind of an opportunity to get to know, your loved one even better, because people can still have jobs. And, just the other day, I was hosting with my sister this Live Your Possible showcase where all of these young people and older people alike were on stage just expressing through art in this amazing way. And it was so beautiful to see. And I was on stage. I remember saying, I didn't know what to expect. I didn't know if people would have episodes. I was in awe to get an opportunity to realize that, people that are living with schizophrenia do these things, and to do them to the utmost. So it was amazing. If people want to check it out, they can go to liveyourpossible.com. Possible spelled POSSCZIBLE. and they can learn more about that series. And I think they got some shots of the amazing talent that's out there.
Let's move off our sister and just talk about us as a community.
Okay.
You're iconic, and thank you, because it's not just about your sister. You're part of the Black, and we need to really extend our hearts in this moment to all of our family members and to ourselves. You've been a compassionate leader, showcasing your life at this moment, not just your sisters, but obviously who you are. Can you share at this moment for those who might feel shame and not how to know how to move past that? For those who feel like they did something wrong, that mom who's there, just a message of hope from Taye Diggs, just like living with family members is possible, and you don't have to doubt yourself or your value because there's somebody in your family. Because we're good at shaming each other.
Speaking just from experience, we know, in our own communities, it can be so easy to kind of write someone off as crazy. You know what I mean? In my opinion, one of the worst things you can do because one, it's just so general, and these are living, breathing, complicated, complex, beautiful, talented people that are wired just a little bit differently than we think they should be. And as I said before, leaning into these people's situations, I found more similarities between with my sister and myself than I thought ever existed, and that also helps me deal with her and just anybody that's different from myself. You know what I mean? Kind of finding the similarities, and I think as a community, if we can just be patient with ourselves as well as each other, and try to learn and listen as opposed to just blindly making taking these broad strokes and just generalizing. I think now we can start there, and just researching and learning, just learning more about it. People will be very surprised, and then after that, then remembering not to be shamed because after some time I was beginning to feel bad about myself for making assumptions and for pulling away, emotionally, not really listening or keying in to my sister. But that doesn't help anyone. So once I was able to get over that and kind of lock in and just support, really good things started to happen.
You've been successful, obviously, at least for anybody who doesn't know, you're a star, and obviously you represent the culture. If you were given a graduation speech and you were going to share with the young individuals at a Howard, at a Morehouse, a Spelman, a Prairie View, about making sure they checked in, what would the title of your speech be for commencement? And what would you challenge them to do to understand that they too, no matter what they run into, can live their possible?
Oh, you are throwing them at me, brother. What would the title of the speech? I'll keep it simple. Don't be afraid to be you, especially in this time of social media and everybody's on Instagram, everybody's posting, screaming at you, telling you what to do and how to manifest this and what not to do and how to spend your money. And it's really easy to get caught up in what other people think you should be. Speaking from personal experience and my sister and this, live your possible kind of thrust, I think it's important for people to not lose who they are as a person and not be afraid to stand on that. It's okay to take advice and you can always improve, but make sure that you keep who you are and what makes you special and what's different about you, because that's what, to me, that's what's far more interesting. And I think people might have an easier time of finding like what their passion is or why they're here, what they're meant to do personally.
Super. Well, you heard it first here on Health IQ. I'm rolling out with my dear brother, Tay Diggs. Big ups to you, brother. Always appreciate you showing up and showing out for us here at Rolling Out. Thanks so much.